Hi everyone, we're going to continue with this, how the body moves, and we're going to talk about ankles, knees, and the next thing we're going to talk about, we're going to go up into the arms. Okay, so I will show you some stuff that I've seen done. I probably used to do it myself, and it was questions that I've always had about your ankles. All right, now, when we first started, and I would go to other classes of Tai Chi, they would be doing warm-ups, and they would be going like this, and they would do this. And I guess that was supposed to be warming up the ankle. I'm not sure. I kept saying to myself, well, all right, then there's some where you would make circles. That's all very nice, loosening things up. It's all very good. But we want to realize that what is the ankle? The ankle is a hinge joint, so it can only do so much movement. Oh, it's the same thing with the knees when we move up to the knees. The knees is a hinge. There are many parts of the knees, and I had to have meniscus surgery. We kept telling you about watch out for the knees, but this was way later, and I was either showing off or doing a Chen form or something, and it worked the meniscus, and you don't want meniscus surgery if you can help it, believe me. Okay, so people, I've seen them do this. There's not a whole, I can go a little bit further, you can still see my head. And they would do these things. And to me, this is great big movement. And I didn't see a whole lot of need for this, or how that was going to really loosen them up according to our form. Remember, in the beginning, for many, many years, I did Yang style. So I can tell you all the things that people do and incorrectly or don't teach for years and years and years of Yang form. Yang form seems to be one that has more, well, I wouldn't use the word mistakes, but it wouldn't be the most ideal way, or they teach ways that probably are not that great. People learn for about 6 months, and then they say, oh, I'm going to start teaching Tai Chi, without going through 5, 6 years or more of training. All right? So, I would have to say, we practice all of these movements that we do in with our turning of the feet, because then it starts everything else moving. Our ankles are moving, but they're moving all the little bones within the body part. Now, my husband, who knows very little about Tai Chi except what it looks like from the outside, and he has his little version of how you do it, said, I've been doing these videotapes for you, and you haven't said anything about this stuff. You're always turning your hands, but you never mentioned. Well, I suppose he didn't see all of them. But Master Ting uses the term turning the inside bones. Well, most people, they're doing the whole entire arm. So they're turning, but that's not the way I'm turning. So he noticed something immediately. As an amateur, something's different here with the hands. I was quite impressed, actually. And yet you watch a Yang style person, they never think about moving their hands. So when you go to class where you might take an anatomy and physiology class, they'll say, there's a bone here connected to your elbow, and a bone from the pinky, the ulna and the radius. And those guys turn. So when we practice a lot, thumb up, thumb down. That's as a beginner, you'd say. Thumb up, thumb down. You see how this moves. Thumb up, thumb down. Thumb up. This is a very powerful movement to have the thumbs knowing how to grip. I'm not saying like an animal does, but an animal moves around up the trees and all over using these fingers. But thumb up and thumb down, that's equal. So you can practice thumb up, thumb down as a beginner. Thumb up, thumb down. And then you can move it, thumb up, one is down, and then you just practice this way. And you want to remember that it has to be connected to your toes. So you put your weight on the pad, and now your toes begin to move. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, but you're still turning, and you are starting to develop the connection between the fingers and the toes. Okay. And the next video we'll talk about elbows and how important the elbow is. So we want to give a whole entire video just to beginning about the elbows.